Y'all let me know. Can we hear me? Am I live? Am I actually live? Is my volume on? Is it loud enough? Are we ready? Yes? Now yes? Now we're live? Okay, cool. Awesome. Hold on. Let me post this on Snapchat. Hopefully Snapchat doesn't give me any problems. Post. I really need like an assistant. Who's gonna be my assistant? It's too much to do at once. I don't want to do this no more. We in business? Loud and clear? Awesome. Awesome. Are you guys watching me on your phones or are you watching me on a bigger screen? That's the important question. Where's this link? Attach. All right. Hopefully that uploads. Hey, we got Darius in the building. We got Caesar in the building. We got Chill in the building. I can't. All right, let me actually see how I look. Because we know that's the important thing. Caesar is a butler and assistant. My phone, I'm on the way home from work. Oh, okay. You were at work? That's crazy. Duh. Of course, y'all men are always working, as you should be. So we're here. We're here. We're on YouTube. This is quite different. Hey, Mercedes. Oh, did it post on Discord, this link? Did it even say that I was going live? Because I think that's only connected to Twitch. This is so weird. It's weird, but it also feels good. I feel like I'm back at home because YouTube has always been my home for some years. But I think this is the first time I've ever tried to live stream a show because, as you guys know, live streaming has really become more recently like a huge thing. So YouTube is a bit more complicated when it comes to the live stream thing, but I figured it out. I pay money in order for me to do this. I literally have to pay to go live through Streamlabs. Hey Mercedes, thank you so much, beautiful. I look great in 4K. Oh, okay, good. So I look very clear to you guys. Hopefully I do, because it's not looking as HD on this playback screen as it does on the Streamlabs, which I don't like. I don't like it. But you know, this is more so, we're testing the waters here. Ironically, I'm in the water. We're testing the waters. I do want to make the Martina Report more of a thing on here than on Twitch. I feel like it fits YouTube better, what we're trying to do. But quality is slightly worse than Twitch on my screen. What do you mean? So it doesn't look super clear? There's a lot of things I have to edit, apparently, when it comes to that. So you guys really need to let me know. Like, send me screenshots of what it looks like. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I can't see what y'all can see. So, like, you guys are the way that I can tell what I need to tweak or what I need to buy. Anything. Because y'all know I'm a perfectionist, okay? So let me know. But yeah, it looks the same for you. Interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, so I feel like the Martina Report fits better on YouTube. If this all goes really well, then we will continue to do it here. So thank you guys for being a part of this stream, making me feel just a bit more relaxed back at home and in a safe space. I'm in a safe space with you guys. No matter where I go on the internet, as long as I have y'all in the comments, and it's like, who cares, right? We're just gonna be here. We're gonna have fun. Did you guys have a good day today? It's clear but not crisp. See, Darius kind of knows what I be looking for. That's the thing. He hears me complain about things and how things look and my makeup and how I want things. He knows how particular I am. So, if he's saying it's not as clear as it could be on my standard, then we'll tweak it. I'll have to figure it out. I'm just glad I was even able to make this happen. I really thought it wasn't going to work, but it did. And the playback gang, the people who are going to be watching this, you know, after the live stream, I might have to figure out how to edit on YouTube and cut some things out, because I don't know what I'm going to be playing, if it's copyrighted or not. You know how YouTube is. It's very different than Twitch when it comes to what you can and can't show. So we're really just going to be figuring things out. I'm going to light some incense. This is some yummy. This one is Barossa Rose Plum incense sticks. Very nice, very bougie. I love these incense so far. I sent you a pic on Insta. Thank you. I'll send you some pics. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, Darius. Looks the same to me. You had a long ass day, Darius. My day was long and bullshit. No, I'm busy. Not me adding my own words, my own sauce to it. I am 95% finished with Whip Rose project. Okay, cool. Look at us. We're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're knocking our goals out of the way. Already 2024 is, I won't say it's starting off as a great year, because there's still like a bunch of bullshit going on in the rest of the world. But at least, you know, in terms of our progress, we're doing pretty decently, I would say. Hopefully we'll stay sheltered from the craziness. But we still need to know about the craziness. We still need to be aware, right? We still need to know what's going on, so we're not caught off guard. I'm going to talk about that later, actually, towards the end, when we start talking about the war stuff, because I think that I think it's really time for me to start buying like emergency stuff. I have no emergency things in my house. You already know about my day. Yes. Now if I'm going to be finished next month. Oh, you talking about Caesar? Not the shade. Okay, y'all. Let me pull up everything, because we do have a few stories. We have 4 stories to get through as usual. One is going to be an update of what we talked about last week with what's happening with the wars. But we're going to start off with Chick-Fil-A. We're going to talk about Chick-Fil-A. Even though this isn't like breaking news, it's something I wanted to talk to y'all about, because I love me some Chick-Fil-A. Not even a med kit? No, I don't have a med kit. I don't even have Band-Aids. I have everything else in my house, ironically. Like, if you come here, you will be comfortable. You will have lots of tea, lots of yummy food, marijuana. I don't know if I can say that on here. You know, you will be very comfortable. But will you be safe? That's another question. Because I don't have nothing. If something goes wrong, I got nothing to be prepared. Nothing to help you with some cuts and stuff. Actually, you know what? That's a lie, because right across the street, they do have a medical center. So if anything goes wrong, technically, I'm very close to like a hospital type thing. So, yeah, who needs band-aids when you have doctors across the street? But no insurance. Anyway, don't judge me. This is not judgment zone. Don't tell me all y'all here suddenly have like all the preparation things. Y'all ready for wartime and stuff. Y'all have bunkers. That's wild. A med kit is a must have. I am still building up the things in my car. I do have some emergency stuff in my car because I always like have tire issues. So I have stuff for tires. Anyway, whatever. That's not for time. Is CVS down the street? Wow! Don't tell them my whole city, my whole coordinates. Everyone has a CVS down the street. Anyway, Chick-Fil-A. Not everyone has a Chick-Fil-A down the street. Because you guys know Chick-Fil-A has a bunch of rules. They always have, because it's a very religious-based company. So Chick-Fil-A, as delicious as it is not the most easily accessible, restaurant. It is closed on Sundays. Always been closed on Sundays, and only more recently have they been venturing out from places or from the like southern region and going to other states. I was like so blessed and so happy that Chick-fil-A is here in Michigan now, but even still, it's not anywhere near me. I still would have to drive at least 30 minutes to go to the nearest Chick-fil-A, so that sucks. That could be anywhere. What could be anywhere? What, the CVS? I know, I'm just playing around. But yeah, there's this bill that is being proposed in New York that is causing conversation online because it could possibly make it so that Chick-fil-A is open on Sundays, at least in the region of the highway, at least the ones off the highway in New York. And of course, this is just, New York thing, but it could be something that if it becomes, a law, or if it becomes like, a thing, then it could be something that is brought on to other states. And the fat ass in me is happy. The fat ass in me is like, okay. I'm not mad about that, but there's a lot of people that are mad about it online. They are very much so against it. I'm not saying that I'm for it. I'm not saying that Chick-fil-A should be open. People should do what they want to do. It's good, I guess, for them to have a day off. And, that's not necessarily very capitalistic. It's very, very nice and moral, I guess, for them to take their stands and not be open on Sundays. But it's just for some reason I always crave Chick-fil-A on Sundays. And if they ever made it so that the Chick-fil-A's that are at least on the highways are open, I definitely would get my ass up out of bed, put some clothes on, and go drive to the ones at least on the highway, okay? Because those Chick-fil-A cravings be hitting. Sunday is God's day. According to whom? Shouldn't every day be God's day, technically? And didn't God make chickens? And aren't chickens alive every day? And does death wait for no one? Okay, we all gotta die. We can't choose whether we're not gonna die on a Sunday. The chickens can't decide either. Okay, see, once again, I'm already showing my opinion. I'm supposed to be trying to be neutral and just give the news, and I'm like, come on, y'all. You think it should be open on Sundays? Like the Weekend Warriors do their thing? Or you think it should be closed? It's because church let them be. Well, let me show y'all what the reason why they're saying it should be closed. They do have a legitimate reason, I guess. Or no, they have a legitimate reason why they think it should be open, but they also have people have legitimate reasons why they don't think that's fair and it should stay closed. Let me read to y'all the article about the bill. Hopefully it's big enough. That's what she said. I don't know why the chat isn't popping up on Streamlabs. That's annoying. I don't like that, but whatever. God wants us to be happy. Right. Okay, so this is about the bill. This is the article about the bill. This is a bill in New York could force Chick-fil-A to make a big change throughout the state. The New York State Assembly has put forth a bill known as the Rest Stop Restaurant Act that would require food and beverage companies contracted to provide services along the thruway and at the Port Authority in New York and New Jersey to stay open 7 days a week, including the fast food restaurant famously known for being closed on Sunday. See, that's why I'm saying they do have a valid reason for wanting it to be open. Because if they are specific restaurants or specific Chick-fil-A's that have been contracted to be on the highway and provide like the services, because you know, like people drive along the highway, we have rest stops. I love road trips. I really, really do. I love the fact that, you know, every so exit you can go off and go to a different restaurant. I haven't been on a road trip in so long. I want to go on a really good road trip. But yeah, so, you know, it makes sense what they're saying. They're like, if you're contracted to be a restaurant on the highway, then you need to be available 7 days a week. But then again, if you're going to say 7 days a week, then you might say 24/7, because road trips, people are always on the highway. If y'all going to say that they need to be open, then let them stay open. That would be dope. 24-hour Chick-fil-A? Let me stop. Anyway, so yeah, it says Chick-fil-A has been closed each Sunday since it opened. Yes, we know that. Almost 3,000 restaurants across 48 states. So it says Apple Green, an Irish convenience store chain with a portfolio of companies, including Chick-fil-A, took over the leases of all thruway authority service areas in 2021. So that must be the change or the reason. I didn't know that. Like, see, this is why I love studying like business and like what be going on, because I didn't know that a company could lease or is leasing other companies and restaurants and taking over their leases. Like, I didn't know that could be a thing. How is Apple Green, an Irish convenience store that owns a portfolio of companies, including Chick-fil-A, took over the leases of all the thruway authority service areas? Like, it wasn't that interesting? I didn't know that. Maybe I'm an idiot. I didn't. Whatever. So they said that in the bill, while there is nothing objectionable about having a fast food restaurant closing on a particular day of the week, service areas dedicated to travelers is an inappropriate location for such a restaurant. Publicly owned service areas should use their space to maximally benefit the public. Allowing for retail space to go unused 1/7 of the week or more is a disservice and unnecessary inconvenience to travelers who rely on those service areas. Since the only exception from the 7-day-a-week operations mandate would be for the temporary concessions such as farmer markets or local vendors. And then one of the bill's sponsors said, you know we get hungry when we're traveling. This person's a fat ass like me. You know we get hungry when we're traveling. We may not like our brother-in-law or sister-in-law's cooking and want to get a snack on Christmas Eve, Simon said. To find one of the restaurants closed on the thruway is just not in the public good. What? Am I still live? Is it still, everything still going good? Is it still streaming? I want to make sure. I feel like the latency has gotten slow. Or maybe it's just tweaking here on the left side. It could just be distracting me on the preview on the left. Let me stop looking at it. Y'all let me know in the comments if something starts glitching. But yeah, so that's very interesting. So Simon clarified that throughways are meant to serve New York travelers first, adding that he thinks it's ridiculous that a food provider would be able to close on Sunday, one of the busiest. Ridiculous? Okay. He said he's not having it. My whole thing is, if they've been contracted to do it, then you can't just be like, oh well, you're forced to stay open. Like, everyone knows that Chick-fil-A be closed on Sundays. So you can't just be like, okay, it's the same thing with, like, stadiums. When stadiums or when malls have Chick-fil-A and like they're open, like, or there's a game or the mall is open, people are out shopping or whatever, and then like the only restaurant closed is Chick-fil-A. That low-key be pissing me off, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, they know that Chick-fil-A is going to be closed on Sunday. Like, they're fully aware when they have Chick-fil-A in their malls, in the stadium. So it's like, you can't just force Chick-fil-A to like go against their main principle, even if you think it's ridiculous. Like, that's clearly what they stand for. So I see both sides of the argument. They probably own the building or franchise location. They would own the Chick-fil-A building. That's what you mean? But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, obviously they don't own Chick-fil-A, like the actual company, but yeah, the businesses, the stores. So this is a quick little video about how people feel about the bill.
For some, 6 days of the popular Chick-fil-A restaurant is good enough.
If I can get Chick-fil-A 6 days a week and not get it 1 day a week, I'm not hurt.
This was the sentiment spoken by the majority of people at the Chittenango service area. Truck drivers who stop at service areas frequently saying that Chick-fil-A should be allowed to stay.
I think it's they're taking away their right of choice. I mean, this is a country of free enterprise. So just because they're closed on Sundays, I don't know. I don't think they should ban them.
It's perfectly fine. People know it. There's Burger King in there. There's other places. Popeyes, you can stop somewhere else. You can get off the highway.
One customer at the service area added that if Chick-fil-A's were banned from service areas, she believes it would violate their constitutional rights.
We have freedom of speech and religion. Just because they choose not to be open on Sundays, they are very open about that, and I think that everyone needs to respect that.
Whether a proposed bill requiring throughway rest stop vendors to be open 7 days a week is constitutional becomes one of the questions now being debated. Chick-fil-A has always closed on Sundays since it first opened in Georgia in 1946. On the company's website, it says the closure was designed by the owner so, quote, he and his employees could set aside 1 day to rest and worship if they choose.
I think it's a waste of taxpayer money because they should have known. They knew that about Chick-fil-A when they signed the deal with them, that they weren't going to be open on Sunday.
Right.
They knew it.
Like I said, I see both parts of the argument, personally.
From a fried chicken sandwich.
Absolutely not. Please don't show me any more Chick-fil-A because I will get hungry. Let me go back to this camera. Oh, just thinking about it is making my mouth water. I could care less if Chick-fil-A is open at all. Oh, really? You don't eat Chick-fil-A? You don't like Chick-fil-A like that? That's crazy. Maybe Chick-fil-A isn't as great as I think it is. No, that's a lie. I can't even say that. To me, I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I grew up, in a place where Chick-fil-A wasn't. So when I finally moved to Georgia, I was so excited. Like, the only reason why I was okay with moving to Georgia in the first place when I was a kid was because of Chick-fil-A. Because whenever we visited the South and visited my grandpa that lived there, that's like the main thing I could recall. Like, my grandpa and my Chick-fil-A was down there. So when my dad was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to move," I'm like, "Oh, I can get Chick-fil-A anytime." Oh, hey to Mo Davian and his beautiful girlfriend. Thanks y'all for being here. He looks like a vet. I'm not surprised. Yeah, that dude. Hangry? Yeah. But I'm doing good. I'm not going to be, like giving into my cravings anymore. At least I'm trying. My cravings hit me very hard. So I'm going to keep stuff like this around me to munch on when I'm hungry. This orange. Mmm. It tastes like Chick-Fil-A. Mmm. Tastes as good as that fried meat. Mmm. Those salty fries. Mmm. Oh, that delicious cold lemonade. Oh, yeah. Let me stop. Because I will... What time is it? I will go drive to Chick-fil-A right now. They're not closed yet. But, yeah. So, like I said, I can see both sides. Chick-fil-A should, be able to keep their rights, I guess. But, whatever. Speaking of keeping rights, there was a big commotion in the TikTok spaces. For you guys that don't be on TikTok like that or don't have a TikTok, I'm going to tell you, it's been a whole frenzy. If you guys care, TikTok and Universal Music Group has announced that they were ending their contract, or their contract or lease was expiring. And they couldn't come to an agreement. Therefore, all the music artists that is under Universal Music Group, and everyone that has been making their little dances and their videos are going to be muted. And the music will be wiped from the platform. And literally, right after the announcement, a few days later, the music was gone. The day the music was gone on TikTok. It's pretty wild considering the fact that, how TikTok started with Musical.ly. People literally made TikTok popular by doing the TikTok dances and making that a thing. TikTok influenced the music industry so much that artists like Drake and Nicki, literally a lot of the pop artists and music industry as a whole started tailoring music for TikTok, because they knew that if they could have just like a few seconds of go viral on TikTok, or have it be able to fit a clip, then people would use it all the time and it would go viral, and the song would go to number one or be, top the charts and everything like that. So the past few years, TikTok has become such a huge influence on the music industry that they literally started. I don't know if it's come out yet, because I don't have Spotify anymore, but they were planning to basically have like a music side of TikTok where you could discover artists on there and like immediately like save songs to your playlist. And I don't know what was happening with that or what's happened with that. But TikTok definitely was getting more into like the music spaces, and UMG was not happy about that. UMG is like, okay, if you try to be a music platform, if you're going to have all these people making money off the music that our artists make, then y'all gonna have to pay us. I don't know how much. They didn't talk about, of course, the dollar amount or what's going on with that, but UMG basically was not happy with the terms that TikTok was coming to them with. So ultimately, UMG owns Justin Bieber, Kanye, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Adele, Jay-Z, Drake, Mariah Carey, DaBaby, a whole bunch of more artists, even like Bad Bunny, like a whole bunch of people that I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't keep track of who owns who. With big businesses, there's always things happening with big business. But UMG owns apparently a lot of artists, or at least, their rights to their music. So yeah, they took the music away. And it's wild, like I said, because of how influential TikTok is to people finding music or liking new music. I don't think many people, like, we don't have MTV anymore. We don't listen to Pandora. Some people still listen to Pandora, but it's like a lot of people don't even listen to the radio. So the way people find new artists and find new music is typically like what's trending online on social media, TikTok, things like that. Trevor Noah was hilarious last night about the issue. Oh, he was talking about the TikTok thing too. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's going to be really interesting to see how this affects the music industry as a whole, because like I said, most people discover music on TikTok, or have been discovering music on TikTok. At least I have. Especially I literally would save artists that I would find, save songs that I would find, and be like, oh, let me add this, let me look this up. So wild move from UMG, but ultimately not surprising. They've done the same thing with YouTube, Twitch, any other social media platforms. You cannot just be playing music in the background. You can't even sing a song. You can't even sing on YouTube too closely to the song. They'll snatch it and copyright it. So UMG has already been proven to be greedy when it comes to music. But I've said this so many times on past Martina reports that the music industry, just like all these other industries, are going broke. Just like how our government is going broke. Everyone's going broke. So UMG is like, let's squeeze as much money as we can with the little purchasing power that we have left. Like, they don't want to see anyone else eating off of them or their artists, because let's be real, the executives aren't the ones making the music, the artists are. But they own the artist's music, so that's just what it is. And that's what capitalism is. Like, this is just what it goes. And, people care about where the money is, and apparently TikTok wasn't showing them enough money or whatever the heck. So it was really funny to see their back and forth, because TikTok came out with a statement, UMG came out with a statement. TikTok's basically calling UMG greedy, and UMG is calling TikTok basically a manipulative slut that's trying to take advantage and all that kind of stuff. Walking in the dispo, make sure you get me something. But let me show you guys the videos on the story.
Top story this afternoon, the world's largest music company has officially started to remove the artists it represents from TikTok, including Taylor Swift.
That's right. Universal Music Group has ended its licensing with the popular social media app. Linda Schmidt is live in the newsroom with the details on this dispute and what happens next. Linda, pretty big deal here.
It is a pretty big deal, and if you're a regular TikToker, you are crying today about this. This is a huge shakeup and a disappointment for you. Your posted videos with music from some of the top artists are now going silent. Universal Music Group, which reps some of the biggest names on the planet, like Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj, has not been able to reach a new contract deal with TikTok. Now, negotiations fell apart, so now the record label group is pulling the sound from TikTok videos. UMG says TikTok is not paying artists the amount of money that they should be paying them, and the record company is also concerned about protecting artists from the harmful effects of artificial intelligence, as well as online safety. Well, TikTok, as you can imagine, hitting back tough today, though, with a statement saying, quote, "It is sad and disappointing that Universal Music Group has put their own greed above the interests of their artists and songwriters. Despite Universal's false narrative and rhetoric, the fact is they have chosen to walk away from the powerful support of a platform with well over 1 billion users that serves as a free promotional and discovery vehicle for their talent." But also today, as is the case with most of these types of negotiations, we've done so many stories on these types of things, the two sides could ultimately work out a new deal here, but for now, the music is silent.
Are they going to work out a new deal, though? Maybe they're going to see how much TikTok is actually affected and then they're gonna, perhaps come to some agreements. But there are people that are saying, this maybe isn't the worst thing. Maybe we don't need, videos with the biggest artists, Drake and all of them, Nicki. We have other artists, independent artists that want to be highlighted. They need the shine. They need to go viral. So maybe this doesn't hurt TikTok as much as UMG thinks it does. Maybe it ends up hurting UMG more than they realize. You're still here? Okay, awesome. I have a permission by artists to play their music. So actually, Caesar, I saw one of your videos. It came across my For You page or whatever, but it was muted. They had muted it. So there's at least one of your, unless you purposely uploaded it muted, but there was one of your videos that was muted. Cringy dances go bye-bye. That's kind of messed up. You don't realize how many people were making, how much money they were making from those TikToks. A lot of them were very cringe to me, but some of them were cute. Some of them were like, catchy or whatever. But then when people started doing the TikTok dances out in the real world, it's like, I'm not learning these TikTok dances and whipping them out in the club and doing all that. It just doesn't look right. So this is what the TikTokers are saying about the move.
So the Universal Music Group pulling all the music off of TikTok is kind of confusing to a lot of people. And they're trying to make it look like a bad thing, but it's actually a really good thing. It's happening. The shift. See, there's a shift, a power shift of them having power for way too long, finally returning to us. Who's the them? The big corporations, the billionaires, the greedy 1%ers, the grabbing your share. I'm sorry, you won't be able to say, I got a record deal with a big company that takes all my profits and I get nothing. Sounds cool, but it wasn't cool. We all know now. They took a lot of money from artists. New technology is going to create a whole new decentralized world. A world where we can just make content, make music, and a blockchain technology that quantifies and calculates for us the value. You put a song out and a lot of people like it, the AI underneath watching it goes, oh, they really like Krystle's new song. I'm going to keep pushing it out. I'm going to attach value to it. We don't need some guy at a desk in a big fancy office doing that. We don't need him telling us our music is good or not. We'll tell you whether the music is good or not. AI, blockchain technology, the only thing governing us in the future is going to be a computer system. And that's a good thing.
Oh. She's just saying it out. She's like, look, the future is going to be ran by computers. And it's great.
Because it's very honest, very smart. But it's not going to decide anything for us. It's going to watch. Hey, what do you guys like? You guys like this? Oh, I can see you like this. I'll push out more. Oh, you want to bribe me with a bag of money? I don't care about that. I'm just a computer system. A world without corrupt individuals, without greedy corporations is a beautiful one. The shift is happening. Don't listen to the news. There's still people behind that writing up those headlines and those news articles. Oh, this is really bad. AI could be bad. It's good. It's really good. Whenever you hear something being taken away from large corporations or billionaires, that's a good thing. Something's happening. And power is returning to us.
So that's how she feels about it. People make friends from that too. People make friends from what? The TikTok dances? Yeah, that's true. I've done a few TikTok dances, I'm not gonna lie. But like she said, that doesn't mean that there's no music. That just means that there's a push to the independent artists. Or, people that make their own sounds on TikTok. Because if you don't know, TikTok sounds are they're so important and critical to videos and trending and all those types of things. But people will use a sound just because it's trending, so to help push their videos, and that pushes the sound even more. Those are the NPCs doing them. Absolutely. So this is how this girl feels. Mila.
Unpopular opinion, but I love that UMG removed all their music from TikTok, and let me explain why. Before you come at me, let me explain why. Okay, first and foremost, and probably the most important part that all y'all influencers who are crying about this are missing, is this is really gonna give the ability for independent artists and local artists the chance to really blow up and showcase their music on TikTok. As we all know, TikTok literally dictates what music goes viral. So giving this opportunity to independent artists who don't normally have this opportunity, I love that. I'm here for that, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. So if you're an independent artist, this is your sign. This is your year. Next up, my more controversial tinfoily hat.
I wonder how people are going to, how the independent artists are still going to get that like shine, because they would still have to make a viral video, right, for people to even be able to see it.
Kind of theory of UMG pulling their music from TikTok because TikTok was fighting back and forth with them. I think TikTok is truly rebranding this year. Rebranding from being a normal dancing app that in 2020 all the kids were dancing on. TikTok is now a huge business, competing with streaming sites like YouTube. Personally, what I think, TikTok is competing with more than YouTube. TikTok is competing with other big, successful media and entertainment platforms such as YouTube, Cough Cough, the new landscape feature in TikTok. But more importantly, I think...
Oh, and then for y'all that don't know, when she's talking about the landscape feature, she's referring to the fact that TikTok is going to be pushing out videos or pushing videos through the algorithm that are filmed in landscape. So they're basically trying to get users to get used to watching their videos horizontally. Very much so like YouTube, but TikTok isn't YouTube. When I go on TikTok, I want to just scroll, or honestly, I am kind of getting tired of scrolling. If they could just make it so that there's an auto scroll or whatever, and it just, that would be great. But the thought of like going onto TikTok, putting my phone like this, and watching something, honestly though, YouTube has been really dry. So I can see why TikTok is pushing for this rebrand. YouTube has been, except for like the shorts, I know people like Chill. He loves his YouTube shorts and everything like that. But like, other than that, I feel like the regular YouTube has been really dry. So I can see why TikTok's like, listen, we can encroach in on the YouTube space, but I don't know, a lot of people aren't into that.
I think TikTok is truly competing with longer form streaming platforms. Think Twitch, think Netflix, think Hulu, think Crave, etc. They are moving away from and rebranding from being that little kid dancing app that no one takes seriously to be a real ass player for long form content. I mean, why do you think they're rewarding people for being on live for 6 hours plus every day? When I tell you that they're competing to be the next long form platform that entertains people for hours on end, I'm not joking. You heard it here first.
That's interesting. It is. I will say even my own TikTok algorithm has changed, but that's because I like to watch a lot of like story times and like people talking. I recognize the fact that everyone's algorithm is very different. So I've seen people's TikToks, their For You page, where it's just like a bunch of fart jokes and big booties or cooking things, like everyone's algorithm's so different. So I know with my algorithm, I definitely see a lot more people talking, and since I grew up on YouTube, I'm used to that kind of stuff. I'm not put off by longer videos, but there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want to watch some person blab on and on for 10 minutes. But that is what TikTok is moving towards. My art channel has been dry, but my video game has been popping. Oh, on YouTube, the gaming thing is doing really well. The gaming category, that's good. Maybe I should go live and show me playing Call of Duty on here sometime. There's so much I can do with this channel now that I'm back on YouTube. That's exciting. This is the last video or person that I have talking about their opinion on what happened.
Look around, everybody. I don't know if you guys noticed, but scroll down on your page, especially you girlies who were singing "Nobody Knows Me Like You." it's gone. It's gone. Universal said, we're wrapping all of this up. Happy Black History Month. It's gone. We've been plagued with copyright conversations on Instagram and on YouTube. But for some reason on TikTok, it felt like marketing dollars. You know, it didn't feel like it was being used and exploited, you know, for anything other than what I feel like Universal Music Group would have been considering marketing. Especially because the songs were there linked to the artist.
I love his accent. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
And, you know, you could always go on a Spotify and then see the artist and whatever. Is it beneficial, or is it now the opportunity for small creators and small artists to rise up like they would do on a SoundCloud? I don't know. Or maybe I'm gonna have to sing the songs for you guys. Nobody knows me like you do. Nobody knows.
Oh, let me stop before YouTube copyright me for him singing a song. Yeah, so very interesting. Another sign of the late stage capitalism that rules our world. Love that. I just got what Chill said after you said ill. I did not pick up on what he meant by that. Now I get it. You're disgusting. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. We will see where the trend ends up. How this, like I said, how this affects TikTok, how this affects UMG. I honestly think it's going to hurt the artists more at the end of the day because there's so much music out right now. And even though they have the big names like Drake, Rihanna, Adele, and all that kind of stuff, like the newer generations, they don't really care about stuff like that. They care about the hot new song and the new artists that they find rather than like people, celebrities that we're like more starstruck like oh my gosh, Nicki Minaj just dropped a new album. Well, Nicki Minaj is getting flamed online. So just because these artists have a big name doesn't mean that they can just, you know, throw TikTok to the side and be like, oh, we'll be okay. People are still going to listen. People already have been complaining that they don't make enough money from the streams. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. No more one-handed phone use. Do people really sit and watch I mean, I guess they do, huh? I'm lazy, so I'm always like having my phone laid down somewhere and propped up. If they could make it so I touch my phone as little as possible, that'd be great. But then again, let me be careful what I wish for, because that could very much so be a Neuralink type thing where I paid thousands of dollars on an Apple Vision Pro. No, I'm good. I don't want any of those solutions. But anyway, moving right along. Nicki Minaj is the bomb. She is the bomb. Black women are the bomb, period. Wait, can I say bomb on YouTube? I don't know what I can say. But yeah, you know, very inconvenient time for Nicki because she's been all over TikTok. And now they took her music off of there. I think that's pretty lame, but that's what it is. That's what these companies are doing. But remember what I was saying about how everyone's going broke, including the music industry, including these governments, like everybody's going broke. So it's the same thing that's happening with even farmers. Like there's a huge farmer strike going on all across Europe. Are you guys aware of that? They haven't really been talking about it that much in the US, which I think is crazy and probably purposeful because the scenes, the videos, the clips, everything is coming out of Europe with them striking, these protests. It is getting crazy over there. They're literally blocking highways. They're burning the streets. The farmers don't play. Apparently, don't F with Nicki Minaj, don't F with farmers. And it's Black History Month. Right. actually striking. The farmers have been striking for a minute now. It's been going on for some time, and I figured we were going to talk about it eventually. This is the, you know, as good of time as any. I've been seeing clips about it, but I didn't fully understand exactly what was going on. But now I've watched a good bit of what's going on, and of course I'm on the farmer side. But anyway, you know, we Americans, we rarely ever talk about what's going on over the pond, so I wanted to let y'all know, because I feel like if Americans paid more attention to how France and other countries actually fight against their governments, we would probably be a lot better off as a society. You know, it's ironic because I grew up with people calling the French wussies and, oh, they don't like war and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yet the French people and the people in these other countries are constantly just fucking Paris up in order for them to protect their rights. And yet we're just like on Twitter making jokes about our suffering. So, yeah, they're over there. They've been tearing up the buildings, throwing manure on governmental buildings, throwing eggs, blocking the border, blocking highways with their tractors. It's been going wild. And see, in America, we're always like, oh, but what about the businesses? What about the restaurants? They don't care over there. They don't care, because I feel like they truly understand that, like, who cares if businesses and buildings have more rights than us citizens? Like, the people in France, the farmers, everybody else that have their head on straight, they don't give a F. They're like, look, what's more important is making sure I have money in my pockets, because I need to be able to feed my families. So that's what's been going on. These protests are happening in France, Italy, Spain, Romania, Poland, Greece, Germany, Portugal, and the Netherlands. And it's not just them either. It's not just the farmers either. Like the transportation workers, the bus workers, all of them, like they are supporting the farmers. So it's really crazy over there. I feel bad for anyone that's been trying to really go and travel and have their whole like eat, pray, love moment in these other countries, because people are not having it. With the way economy is going and the way that people are struggling to, you know, eat and survive and pay their bills, like they're not having it anymore. So let me show you guys exactly what I mean. Let me show y'all the scope of these protests. That's crazy, right? And it's wild that it's not a regular conversation here in America. We're over here distracted about a whole bunch of other BS. Meanwhile, this is what's going on in Brussels.
A large convoy of hundreds of angry farmers driving heavy-duty tractors arrived at the European Union headquarters in Belgium today. Now, leaders were meeting in Brussels to discuss financing for Ukraine. Farmers threw eggs and stones at the European Parliament, also set fires in the area to press EU leaders to do more to help them with taxes and rising costs. Now, while the farmers' crisis is not officially on the agenda of the EU summit, it is expected to be discussed. Similar protests have been held across the EU for most of the week. Farmers blocked traffic.
Look at that! Do y'all see? That is some gangster-ish right there. They are really lined up with all their tractors. Like, y'all ain't doing mess. They don't give a F. It's crazy to me that when environmental protesters do stuff like this, they block the highways and get in the streets and all that kind of stuff. People all have all type of ish to say. But the farmers do it. I mean, and I'm on, of course, the farmer side as well. But it's like, they are literally with their big ass tractors on the highway, ganged up like this. Look at this, is the traffic in the back. These are the regular people. Look at all these tractors. They are not moving.
Traffic arteries.
They just want some food. Right, they just want to work. They just want to do their farmer thing. Why are we messing with the farmers?
Across Belgium, France, and Italy this week.
As you have seen, there is a major farmers' protest in Brussels. We need to be able to discuss in the council on this topic, because the concerns that they have are partly legitimate. The climate transition is a key.
He said they're partly legitimate. What their concerns are. What do you mean partly legitimate?
The climate transition is a key priority for our societies. We need to make sure that our farmers can be a partner in this. They have done incredible efforts over the past years. Over the past years, they have really adapted to the new standards that we have. We have a long way to go, and we need to make sure that they can be a partner in this and that they can be part of the discussion.
And y'all, this is just like regular dirt. They literally have the manure and things that they, things that they have on farms. I don't know. I haven't been in a farm in a minute, but all those farming supplies, they got them in the streets. They're just throwing. Imagine if you're a police officer or a government official and a farmer's throwing literal shit at you, manure. I'd be like, oh my God.
Because we are protesting today against so many rules from Europe. It's too many for doing a normal farming. No, we have a lot of hope. It's just if you see with how many people we are here today, and if you see it's all over Europe, so we must have hope. We must have hope that these people see that farming is necessary. It's the food, We must have these guys to let them see when you need us, help us, because so far is it now. We need help for normal living.
Look at that. Oh, shoot. I did not mean to click on that.
From coupon cutting.
No. I want to see more of the action. I want to see more of the protests. Look at this. They are really out here with their big ass tractors. And what is this? Pallets? Pellets where they make stuff with? This is in France. It says they're setting fire in front of a local government building. Why can't we just set the building on fire? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So yeah, this is what's going on. We're over here stressed about TikTok music. Meanwhile, this has been going on in Europe for a few months now. At least a couple months. See, they literally have hay out there. They're trying to get their attention. Absolutely. Look at this. Knocking over this truck that's aflame. Like, oh my God. But the sad thing is, they'll do stuff like this. Look at this. This is the agricultural waste that they put on the building. This is crazy. They'll do stuff like this and still the government or the officials will just be calmly be like, oh, we'll get to it. We'll discuss it. And they still will just like sit down and have like debates about this stuff. And it's like, at what point do things stop being a freaking debate and y'all just sitting on your asses and just talking about things that don't directly affect you? And just at a certain point, just listen to what the actual people are saying. You're supposed to be making laws and representing the people, and then the people are out here doing these huge demonstrations to get the attention, to get things to change, and you're still like, oh, we're gonna discuss it over some tea. They look like they're having fun. Honestly, yes. See, we have riots and stuff in America, but I feel like it's never like, I don't know. I feel like it's not as fun. You know? I feel like we need to have a purpose. we need to, get like the French. My heart aches. We heard about the polar bears. The polar bears. What about the what about the farmers? God damn it. They're over here trying to get your attention. You over here talking about the polar bears.
I'm out here to support the French farmers.
And I wanted to show this video. This girl has a really good video. Lena Petrova. Very interesting channel on finance and economics. She did a better job at putting things together, the clips, and showing the actual like a big amount or how big these protests are, because the news, when they show it and when they actually do talk about it, they're not showing like how big the scope is, like how many of these people are out here, how many of these farmers are out here. I love polar bears. I do too. It's playing politics or war. There's only two modes in government. That's true. That's sad, but it's true, but that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. So this is a farmer speaking out in Ireland.
Because I really do feel that the whole farming community right across Europe, not alone in France, Germany, but here in Ireland, are being absolutely decimised by the politicians, the green agenda, and other factors too in the political circles that are demonising farmers as criminals in food production. And the future for these is the young lads, my young lad here, this young man here, and the families here behind me. They won't have farms to farm unless there's radical change and people accept that we need food, we have to produce food, we will produce food given the chance to produce it, but currently under the circumstances we can't do it.
So look at this, y'all. These are all tractors with their lights on in Denmark. Are they in the shape of a heart? I just realized that. Is it supposed to be like a heart? Or is it just a diamond? Either way, this is pretty dope. There's more lights in the background.
Kommentieren. Was hält ihr davon? Was sagt ihr dazu?
Hell, I feel like they could take over the government with all this. We need to just rally with the the farmers. They got all the equipment. They got music playing. Oh wait, is that the overlay music? Well, let me not, because I don't even know if this music is copyrighted or not. But yeah, look how big these protests are, y'all. That's insane. Tractors out here dumping manure onto the highways. I can't imagine the smell. Play Daddy Dad on that tractor. Nah. That would be funny if they were bumping Juice WRLD. That's something you would do. I could see you as a farmer doing that. See? More blockages. It's actually beautiful whenever I see their like solidarity with humans like that. Let me. Do I want to have her explain? Yes, just so you guys understand why they are protesting. I think she's going to explain it here.
Border crossing between the Netherlands and Belgium in the protest at anti-farm, anti-food climate regulation.
Oh no, she's on the border.
With the farmers are dumping foreign wine imports and other goods.
They're even dumping the wine. See, I'd be mad about the wine. She's cute, right?
Because net zero taxes mean vineyards in this particular case on the video will effectively make them go bankrupt.
Look at all that wine and supplies.
Des bouteilles de champagne, est en train de se vider complètement.
Now I'm hurt about the wine.
Point de proximité du péage de Galargues, direction Nîmes.
Then today I started seeing more and more of these videos with empty shelves. If you are in the EU, let me know if this is true. Apparently grocery stores are running out of produce and fresh food, as you can see here in this video. So why are farmers protesting? What is the mainstream media telling us first? Here's our good old Politico telling us that protests around the EU reflect common grievances over debts, price pressures, even extreme weather, and cheap imports. Reuters, which I know you will tell me is just propaganda, but I want to share what is being told in the mainstream media. Reuters says European farmers protest against costs and green rules. But what is the real reason for these massive, truly massive protests across Europe?
Agriculture contributes about 33% of all the emissions of the world. Depending a little bit on how you count it, but it's anywhere from 26 to 33.
So what they're talking about, what he's going to go into is about, like, you know, all the green environmental rules. Europe is a lot more ahead of the game when it comes to implementing environmental laws. And I guess they have a net zero goal where they're trying to have no emissions possible or no emissions at all. Of course, farmers, they're doing things with manure, they're doing things that cause emissions that are just, you know, naturally going to cause those things. Or maybe they even have, I don't know, I'm not a farmer, I don't know what the heck they be doing, but apparently they are responsible for a certain percentage of those emissions. And I just think that, you know, while I'm glad that we are trying to push the world and society in a more greener way, I think it's wild to come after farmers first rather than the other things, the other people, the corporations and things that are more so behind it than that. I think there is probably a better way to figure out, a better way to work something out with the farmers. They definitely should not be like the main ones dealing with the brunt and the burden of trying to do this, because we need food. You know what I mean? We need to eat. That's what you're talking about with Chick-Fil-A. But I understand that there's a lot of like harmful practices that go on, at least when it comes to the meats, but they're not farmers. Or, you know what, let me not even get into it. Like I said, I don't know nothing about how it goes. But that is why the farmers are mad. That's part of the reason why the farmers are mad. All the burden of going to the net zero goal, they're being pushed onto the farmers.
And we can't get to net zero. We don't get this job done unless agriculture is front and center as part of the solution. But with a growing population on the planet, we just crossed the threshold of 8 billion fellow citizens around the world. We just crossed that.
Also, I'm sorry, can we talk about the fact that, ooh, McDonald's would be so good right now. Stop. No, we're not. We don't go to McDonald's anymore. They're part of the problem. But that's another thing. Would we have as much waste and emissions if we actually utilize the resources and the products that we have? Like if we actually fed people food instead of trying to make a profit off of it and throw extra away. Like, you realize how much waste there are at the grocery stores when things expire, or when they can't sell something, they just throw things out because they don't want to give it to like the homeless or things like that. Like, because what did I say? Capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's more creative ways to find solutions, and we really need to get to the heart of the issue. Instead of just like the symptoms, we need to focus on the heart of the issue. So first, we have a lot of waste that we just constantly do all the time. Like all that food that gets wasted, and there's still so many hungry people in the world. That's something that needs to be looked into. Like, can we get to, instead of like a zero emissions goal, can we get to like a zero waste goal? I feel like that would make more sense. Just give them, I'm sorry. yeah. You know what? I think I'm sorry will just solve everything. Florida has horrible homeless conditions. Yeah. And they make it illegal to be homeless because they don't want to see homeless people out on the streets. They don't want to, you know, deal with the eyesore and of homeless people, but they won't solve the homeless issue. They're just gonna keep creating laws and creating stupid things to like temporarily, not even fix it, just get it out of the way, but it doesn't fix the issue. It's insane.
This last year, emissions from the food system alone are projected to cause another 0.5 degree of warming by mid-century on the current course that we are today. A 2-degree future could result in an additional 600 million people not getting enough to eat. And you just can't continue to both warm the planet while also expecting to feed it. Doesn't work. So we have to reduce emissions from the food system to keep the 1.5 degrees alive. Why do we have to keep 1.5 degrees alive? Because scientists, as a basis of physics and mathematics, not ideology and politics or party labels or anything else, as a matter of physics and mathematics and some biology and chemistry have told us these are the consequences. And we already see it happening. And almost everything they've predicted for 30 plus years now is coming true, but the problem is it's coming true faster and bigger than was in fact predicted.
The real reason is the imposed government regulation that effectively makes it impossible to do business and to survive as a farmer. If farmers are forced to hang their hats and shut down, who will be in control of our food supply? And the second question that
Bill Gates
is equally important is, what quality food will we be consuming? The Guardian is reporting.
That is a good question, because we're already consuming garbage. But yeah, I had to talk about that with you guys, because the fact that that's going on, and it's not, you know, a common discussion happening in the U.S. is wild to me, because as we saw, it's affecting so many people, so many farmers over there. Maybe another reason why the farmers over here aren't really as bothered, because we don't really have environmental laws like that. America's like, go ahead, pollute everything, we don't care. I'm just kidding. At least New York has shelters. Yeah, we need to talk about the homeless thing, because the more I learn about the homeless crisis, the more angry I get about it. But I agree, sorry card would work. I mean, it's definitely a complicated issue, because we know that, and we talked about it here on the report, that, you know, the environment is going to shit. And we know that something needs to be done to help the environment, but at the same time, we can't just put so much on like the farmers and like the people that are like the real backbones of society, while ignoring certain people that you know, contribute to emissions with their private jets or with their horrible greedy practices, things like that. But you know, I see both sides, but I definitely am on the farmer's side. There's greater solutions to this, I believe. They need to put me in parliament. God damn it! No, I'm just kidding. We need to start being creative with our solutions. Stop taxing everybody. That's always what they want to do. They just want to tax. That's how they solve problems. Drill, baby, drill. Right. That's really what they do. Just drill. Drill some more. Tax some more. You gonna try some live creative food? Stop. That's probably where we're gonna go for real. And it's so unnecessary. Can we just, 1, stop being fat asses? 2, stop wasting good food? Can we stop? Anyway, we have to talk about the war. Because I can't do this Martini report without updating you guys on the war news that we talked about last week for the Martini report. If you guys are paying attention, let me get your snap. Not the snap. I have an IG somewhere. They'll let you know in the comments, maybe, possibly. But the war, yes. We talked about last week how the U.S. was going to, or were in talks to retaliate for the 3 soldiers that were killed in Jordan. Well, they did, in fact, retaliate. And by they, I mean we, because it is our country. So we have been carrying out airstrikes in Iraq and Syria since the incident, because apparently that's where the enemy militia is. I guess we just have to take their word for it. So if you guys haven't been keeping up with the war updates, it's actually pretty interesting. We're literally living, I believe we're literally living in historical times, well, for a plethora of reasons, but especially when it comes to this war stuff, because it's kind of like, it's kind of very interesting. It's like we're in a war, but the media doesn't want to say like, oh, we're at war. It's like, I wonder when it's going to be fully announced and just like letting me know like, hey, yeah, we're at war. We're at World War III. But those of you that are interested in history and violence and Call of Duty, like I am, I have been just like, you know, paying attention to each new, you know, article or update that comes out, because it's very much so giving Call of Duty in real life, except it's way more depressing because real people are dying and it's more and more feasible that in most of the cases we are the bad guys. So, you know, it's a bit different than Call of Duty, but it's still giving Call of Duty. I mean, if you step back and you just take a look at like these, you know, different articles of what they're saying, the updates and everything like that, you take a step back to look at the big picture of almost like every news story that's happening right now, like it's a pretty grim picture, like what's going on. And it's so wild because we're so easily distracted. Like we're able to get so distracted and not feel the effects of this yet, because we have our phones and we have our Alexas and we have our PlayStations and our Xboxes and our music, and there's so much BS for us to talk about that, you know, people aren't making this like the main topic. If it was like back in like the 1920s, 1800s or whatever, the war updates will be all the thing, everything that anyone is talking about. Everyone will be talking about, oh, there's war, like we did an airstrike and da-da-da-da-da. Like that would be the main talk of the town. But because we have so many other things to grab our attention, these beginning stages of World War III is just like people are just like, they don't really know about it. They don't really care. But if things keep escalating, it very much so looks like that is what is happening. Because if you're a history buff like I am, you know that each world war has started off with like a lot of moving parts and different conflicts, multiple different conflicts going on at all the same time. And America, of course, always finds their way in it somehow, with some reason. So not only do we have the thing going on with Iran now because of the airstrikes, Ukraine, Russia, the Palestine, Israel, all that is going on. But China will not let us forget about them too. So an FBI director spoke on Capitol Hill a few days ago about the Chinese hacking attacks that apparently have been getting positioned right under our noses. And that is what the FBI has been fighting on the back end, these Chinese hackers that's going after our power grids and things like that. Don't forget Texas. Oh yeah, we talked about that last week, but I mean, yeah, I mean, that's part of the war, but that's like an inner BS type of thing. I should have talked about that update too, but because it's big, it was really funny watching the videos of people going down to Texas, you know, doing this, getting ready to rally a fight. Like, that would have been it. I should have talked about that, added that to here, but we're going to talk about the Chinese thing since we haven't discussed that last week. Let me show you guys what the FBI director said. You were just listening to it on the radio? Yeah, because it's big. Like I said, if we were back in like the early 1900s or in the 1800s, even 50 years ago, if the news were talking about that kind of stuff happening, it would be the only thing people would discuss, because it's like, oh my God, first of all, the UFOs, that would have really changed society as a whole. And then the, COVID, then the different wars going on and the Palestine, like this would have been much bigger. But like I said, we have all these things to grab our attention. So it's like, unless people are talking about it constantly, we would really miss this. Like if I wasn't scrolling on TikTok, I wouldn't know he said this. We're living through every disaster possible at once and somehow staying safe because we're distracted. That's the only reason. But once people's monies really start running out, like I told you, people's money is, we've been talking about this. So it's basically since I've been doing the Marti report. People's monies are going out or running out. It's going to get to a point where it's so bad there's nothing else to talk about. Like we can't talk about nothing else. We can't even feed ourselves. But yeah, so this is what's going on with China.
Tonight, the FBI director sounding the alarm about Chinese efforts to attack American power grids, transportation systems, and communications networks.
China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities.
And Christopher Wray announcing a major takedown.
Why they want to come for us? First of all, we have a lot of Chinese people over here. Why they want to come for us? Leave us alone, China. I don't have a problem with y'all. Please leave my internet alone.
Of a Chinese hacking operation on American soil.
Oh yeah, so this is the operation that they stopped, y'all.
A major takedown of a Chinese hacking operation on American soil, dubbed Volt Typhoon.
Working with our partners, the FBI ran a court-authorized on-network operation to shut down Volt Typhoon and the access it enabled. Steps China was taking, in other words, to find and prepare to destroy or degrade the civilian critical infrastructure that keeps us safe and prosperous.
Wray and other officials say China poses the world's greatest cyber threat, and they warn that Americans remain vulnerable. U.S. Cybersecurity Chief Jen Easterly describing the devastating impact of a potential massive Chinese cyber attack.
Telecommunications going down so people can't use their cell phone. People start getting sick from polluted water. Trains get derailed. Air traffic control system, port control systems are malfunctioning. This is truly an everything, everywhere, all at once scenario.
What? Not her using a movie reference. Wait, was she really talking about that movie? What was the other movie that we talked about with the Obamas? Was it called... Oh, shoot, I literally did. Is it As the World Turns? No. What was that movie called? Oh my gosh. Let's look up Obama movie. What is it called? Of course, now I can't remember what the heck the name is. I can't find it. Because Leave the World Behind. That's what it's called. Jesus Lord. Didn't we know this, that they were closed for business? Closed for business. Who, China? Oh, we can still talk about the weather? What? I must have missed some comments or something. But yeah, so it's very much so giving Leave the World Behind, because we talked about that when we discussed the movie, about how people were feeling like, okay, is this a sign or whatever, what's going on? Because in the movie Leave the World Behind, there was, because of hackers, all of the infrastructure, all the telecommunications, all of those things went down, and literally everything, the world stopped, or the society stopped, because of these hackers. And I thought that was really interesting, because usually when they do you know, like an end of times type of movie. It's because of zombies or because of even war or, you know, just a whole bunch of environmental issues, things like that, aliens. But for them to specify hackers being the reason why everything goes down, I thought that was very interesting. And then literally right after, there were reports coming out about, you know, China, you know, being a threat or whatever. And now this FBI director is saying not only is it a possibility, but we stopped an operation. So people are like, how do you know it was China? I mean, it's the FBI. There's ways for them to know everything. But I just thought that was really interesting. Like, yeah, they pinpointed who supposedly the threat is. Is that not an act of war? If we could see that China or Chinese hackers are literally planning to attack or have positioned themselves to attack our infrastructures and our telecommunications, all those things that would literally stop us as a society, how is that not an act of war? Excuse me?
And everything, everywhere, all at once scenario.
Easterly said China believes that sort of cyber attack would crush any American will to defend Taiwan from a Chinese invasion.
What? Wait, hold it. China came out and said that?
All at once scenario.
Easterly said China believes that sort of cyber attack would crush any American will to defend Taiwan from a Chinese invasion. In a statement to NBC News, a Chinese government spokesman denied China hacks into foreign networks, calling it irresponsible criticism.
Oh, I'm about to say, I was like, no way China just out here was like, hell yeah, we're doing it and we're trying to crush the American. I'm like, if they came out and said that, that's gangster, that's war talk for real. But of course, they came out and denied it, of course.
Thanks for watching. Stay up.
Shoot, that's the end of it?
I want to get to Ali Vitale, who is covered.
I guess so. Anyone have any comments on it? Because I wanted us to watch this thing together. I'll probably have to clip this out when I re-upload this for it to stay on the channel. But I wanted to watch this with you guys because I've heard for some time that our power grids, our infrastructure, our systems are very weak and easily, you know, basically can be taken advantage of. But they've been saying that for some years. How has that not been done? Something not have been done about it? Like, we hear every day a new cybersecurity hack, a new data breach, people having our information, all these type of things. It's constantly happening. It's constant. Why are we still so? I mean, I understand you can't get rid of every threat. You can't make everything unhackable or everything, you know, like safe. But at the same time, it shouldn't be that easy to do these things. So this video came up while I was researching this whole thing with the Chinese hackers. From Insider Tech, it says, watch hackers break into the U.S. power grid. Excuse me, are you telling me that literally we're out here showing videos on how easy it is to break into our power grids and systems like that? We are so vulnerable. We're so vulnerable. And we're also relying on, like, you know, our phones and our Google Maps and things like that. Like, most of us cannot, I will even say, I can't freaking survive. I'm not made to survive and get to, like a regular, you know, living, whatever, before there was technology. So I'm gonna need the technology to not be very easily hacked. I'm gonna need y'all to make it so that our internet stays safe, that our power stays safe, okay? I don't trust the people a few streets down from me to not come kicking in my door when everything turns black. Oh, I'm not ready for this. I don't know my neighbors. But yeah, so I wanted us to watch this together. It's a 15-minute video, so, you know, sit back and get some popcorn. But this is hackers breaking into the U.S. power grid. Apparently they were hired to check on the defenses, and we're gonna see how easy. I haven't watched this video, so we're gonna watch this together. Hopefully it's not that easy, but I'm scared. I feel like it is.
Yeah, I just flipped the lights on. The door was just open.
Basically anything that could ruin a company, we try to access.
So we're about to hit up a power substation. It's surrounded by a barbed wire fence. We will get in. There's no doubt about it.
I'm in the building.
Server room.
We're not seeing cameras. I think the surveillance sign is a lie.
It's kind of creepy. Yeah.
The U.S. power grid is at risk. This was a few years ago. And we literally talked about, for the Martin report, a few months ago, how the power grids have been under attack. Literally people shooting at power grids and stuff, and power outages happening. And I know one was in Washington. I forgot the other state. So this has been an issue for some years. The NSA has said it's a matter of when, not if, there's a cyber attack. Ugh. Lord! In a recent test, hackers fully compromised a power company in just days. It was surprisingly easy. Lord.
We are the attacker team. We are offensive security. Our goal is to achieve full access. I'm extremely optimistic.
This guy, holy buckets.
The wonderful thing about all of this is it's perfectly legal.
Wait, what did I say? Let me go back.
The wonderful
Given time, they might have been able to infiltrate the regional or national
thing
network.
about all of this is it's perfectly legal. We like to bring in a mix of people with different technical skills.
We're going to pretend like we work here. My specialties, if you will, really involves social engineering.
Now what I'm doing is I'm going to download some malicious scripts. Background mainly in application pen testing.
Given a determined enough attacker, it doesn't stand a chance. I come from the military, specifically the Army, as a paratrooper and a medic. I usually practice doing this stuff at home. Penetration tester, usually focus more on the...
That's the thing. Hackers, I've always had respect for hackers. They literally be at their houses just for fun, trying to figure out how to hack into some ish. That's pretty cool. I've always thought that was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Network side of things.
You need to have the ability to kind of think outside the box, then you can start to hack stuff.
Okay, their first target was an office.
So we're currently on our way to the first office location where we'll be basically conducting reconnaissance just to see what the area looks like, where we're going to gain access, what things we need to be aware of. We're sort of close. There's the offices. Anytime you're going to break into a building, you have to be aware of people. You have to be aware of the security controls that they have in place. A reconnaissance is...
No security, that's you, Darius.
Going to help us figure some of that out. The target will be on the left. And this is the employee parking. Looks like there's not a fence along the wooded area. Drive casual. The goal is going to be look at different approaches. Over here is all a neighborhood. And this is wooded, but there's no fence here. Look for cameras. Try to get a sense of when people are going to be there.
Should I be taking notes? Right, it is a how-to guide.
Office. A bunch of cameras out on this side.
What the surrounding area looks like. Are there neighbors who are going to see what we're doing who might call the authorities? We've got residents, so if anybody sees us, we've got a problem. It looks fairly accessible. It'd be fairly simple to have somebody enter from the wooded area or simply just drive up into the employee parking lot like you belong and just walk up to the door. Assuming there's not anybody inside, we should have free reign of the place.
Impossible? Yes. Before breaking in, I missed it. Before breaking in, they tried to get in undercover using social engineering. Now that is something I've always found to be very interesting. Social engineering, if y'all don't know what that is, look it up. Very interesting. Do you think about getting into cybersecurity? You should. Clearly we need it.
Social engineering is also referred to as people hacking.
People are the #1 weakness from a security perspective in any organization. Our costume is basically a technician. So you've got a polo, jeans, work boots. In order to capture some of this, we've also basically used a GoPro inside of a small satchel bag. It's a bag camera.
It is very easy to pretend to get into some places. I did this one guy that was like weirdly overly confident, and I was everything he did. Probably how he got me, but we were like going into we were at an arcade or whatever, and I wanted to go to, what is it called, the laser tags or whatever. I forgot. I think it was laser tag. Yeah, it was laser tags, because there was someone standing outside the door before you could go into the back room or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, we could just walk in and we don't have to pay for it." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't have to pay for it?" He's like, "Let's just go. We'll just walk in with this group." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He literally, he was like, "As long as you pretend like you belong someplace, no one's gonna question you." And I grew up a good girl, okay? So I just had so much anxiety. I was like, "Why we can just pay?" No. He's like, "No, trust me." So, I went behind him. We walked into the laser tag thing and played a whole thing of laser tag for free with some people we did not know. But that should be different than the power grid. Come on.
Right now, him and Paul are in the lobby, talking to the receptionist. They dropped 2 of our contact names.
We're here to check on some speed issues and some other stuff with the internet.
Looks like they're getting visitor badges.
It's not that unexpected that your internet service provider might show up to test if you're having speed issues with your network.
Okay, step number 1, pretend to be a service provider. She gave them visitor badges.
Doing a lot of sighing, which is typical of what we should be doing, kind of creating a sense of inconvenience, hoping to play on her willingness to want to help people. Confidence is extremely important, and that will come naturally.
See, what I tell
having
ya?
done your homework in terms of researching the company and solidifying a pretext.
Another employee felt bad and volunteered to export them. So another employee is going to let them in. Dude was broke. Hell yeah, he was. Eventually, a suspicious supervisor appeared.
Sounds like the receptionist is a little open, but this guy is very skeptical at this point.
He denied them access and they left the building empty-handed. Oh, the supervisor was like, eh. Okay, so them trying to hack or go in by people did not work. So now they're going to try to actually break in. If that supervisor wasn't there, they would have been let in.
We look like we're about to go raid some shit. The thing about this, besides the fact that it is by far the most fun, is you got to think on your feet.
We are going to try to get past physical security controls. Of course, we're an ethical hacking company, so what that means is we're not going to break stuff.
So you guys are going to go in first. I think we should wait for you in the garage so that when you get to that back door, we can just let you in.
We went in 2 teams. One team went in through a wooded area where it wasn't fenced in, approached the back door. The other team simply parked in the employee lot and walked to the employee entrance as though that's where we're employees. We're supposed to be there.
Ryan was able to break open the door in 3 seconds using something called a shove-it tool.
Some doors you can use what's called a shove-it tool. It's basically a way just to get in there and get the door to open.
What? Hold on. Can you just buy this thing? What the hell is a shove-it tool? Ah! How much is this? A Lockpick World. There's a Lockpick World website. Wait, is this for real? Why does this look like the lockpicks they give you on Skyrim? Is this for real? You can just buy this? You really can. And apparently that's all that they needed to get into this building was a Skyrim lockpick. I have to turn on super chats to get. I posted this how to do it in the Discord. Wait, I don't have super chats on? Oh shoot, yeah. Somebody write that down so I can remember how to do that. Oh wait, you already put it in the Discord, so maybe that'll remind me.
Make a dash for that dumpster. Ready?
Part of the building. We have a tool that we can use to go underneath the door to snake up to grab a handle and simply pull down on the handle from the inside and open it. Sometimes the doors aren't locked. I mean, first thing is just check if it's open.
Yeah, I used to use cards too to break into certain locks. Absolutely.
Okay, door's open.
I would hope their door wasn't that easy if you could use a card to just swipe through. Once inside, the team split up to scour the hardware.
We've already found 3 iPads
to unlock vehicles
and a laptop. So we're doing pretty good so far.
They're all up in
Credit
this
cards
piece.
be mined, including PIN numbers.
They're at the front desk and everything.
It's designed to be physically deployed at our target location. That we want to maintain a ongoing or rather persistent connection.
It's a small computer that's just a hardware botnet computer. So what we can do is plug that into an outlet and then into the network as well.
Remotely we can control that, install software like malware scripts, penetration testing scripts, things like that.
We had free reign of the office space for as long as we wanted, hacked a few computers, had some pretty good success there. In fact, since achieved domain admin credentials in their network just from that visit alone.
We got everybody?
I'm not acting like this technology is crazy. I'm acting like it's crazy that it's so easy to access it and get into important buildings with it. That is what's getting me. I didn't know people were out here really using Skyrim lockpicks to actually break into buildings here. This place is literally bare bones secure. Guess so.
Everybody has their equipment?
Yeah. Cell phones in the truck.
Coast is clear still?
Block, don't run. Just block normal. Block
Right, they don't have a security guy? Okay, so that was just an office. Okay, that makes sense. So that wasn't the power station yet. This station has 2 motion sensor cameras. Okay, I'm about to say, finally we have some cameras going on. Okay, so they're using a drone.
There's microwaves that go out from a sensor. Anything that's in front of it, it's going to bounce off. That sensor's going to have a resistance and read it back saying, okay, I know something's here.
Okay, we got sensors. Oh. Dang, their drone is nice. Okay. Red team found a blind spot.
A1 flight right there.
Oh, okay.
Looks like they're on their way back. This was way better than a long-ass walk.
We knew drones would be a risk to security. As soon as that they were created, we knew drones were going to be a problem.
Old Woods. Given the sensor is so close to the ground, we could just toss Steve over the fence and then block the sensor. Once the sensor's blocked, we wait a minute to make sure that the camera hasn't gone off, and then we're in.
Okay, we got a snowstorm.
We actually don't know about the sensor itself, but the camera has 280-degree view, which basically means that it can't see behind the pole that it's mounted on.
We need to get the shield out.
No, you look cold, buddy. It sucks out here.
Alright. What this is going to do is this is going to block the infrared component of the sensor. You should effectively see my body heat disappear. And we're going to send Steve over the fence again.
This is like fun.
So we're gonna stay as far out as possible that we feel safe and just arc around it.
So pretty much looking at a straight on shot to the corner.
It's either gonna work and we're gonna be brilliant for it, or it's gonna fail miserably.
So we're wearing the smog type thing to protect from any arcs that would happen.
You wear cotton clothing so that in the event that you get hit with an arc, your clothing burns instead of melting to your skin.
Did a notification pop up? I got a notification on Streamlabs. I didn't get a notification thing. Thank you, Nadias. I don't know. I wish I could see it. I don't know how it looks on y'all's end.
Everything is completely self-sufficient in here, so long as it stays plugged in. The next thing we're gonna do is make sure that we can hit the internal network.
See, they broke into it a total of 8 locations using a variety of techniques. Oh, wow.
We're not going to cut a lock. We might try to pick a lock.
They're able to get through locked
I'm not going to just smash the thing with a hammer. It's an art.
When you can't break it, just dismantle it.
We're in.
It's
Effectively a cloner. We'll be able to capture employees' cards and write them to our own cards to get unfettered access into the building, usually at night.
Okay, 007 type shit.
The fake badges that we created work great. Yeah, actually, I'm just looking for the bathroom. It's through the front right here.
Do you have a pass?
No, I don't.
Well, let's get your pass.
Oh, you don't have a pass? Let's get you one.
This isn't a normal USB drive. We've just written some basic code. When we plug it into somebody's system, it's gonna automatically run.
I can
Now you know if one of them was black. Have a lot harder time.
basically do anything that he can do on his machine just remotely.
We found some unlocked systems, actually dropped some malicious files on them. I can start the microphone on your computer. So I can now start listening to you physically talking. I can take a screen capture of what's on your desktop. I can take pictures with your webcam to see if you're sitting at your computer or not.
Can they stop? They never encountered cops with a suspicious neighbor in an SUV called some trouble. Oh, at least a Karen. The best line of defense for our power grid is a Karen.
No, he pretty much got in his truck, showed up and cornered us.
Completely honest, my nerves are a little bit shot with this guy.
These companies understand that they need to have a stronger security posture. It's increasing awareness and companies are starting to do much better. We still have a long ways to go, but I think we're seeing improvements out there.
Yeah. Are we?
You think you have all those little holes patched and then you find out that, you know, they found another way to get in.
Door was open.
It is a good experience, and it is a learning experience. It feels like sometimes you take 2 steps forward, but yet, you know, then you're taking 2 or 3 steps backward.
So we built this building, we had to put in security and all these fobs, and it's gotten kind of crazy. After 9/11 and Homeland Security.
For buildings like this? Really?
They're worried that if you get into our dispatch center, I mean, we have the technology now where you could send out one command and turn off people's power? What? Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. BRB gonna shower. How you gonna shower right at the end? That's crazy. Company that hired the rare team says it has taken steps to protect against vulnerabilities shown in the video. Oh, okay. We gotta put that in there. Just so you guys know. You can't break in exactly how we just showed you how to do. Anyway, that's still a pretty wild video. Definitely did not give me any more hope for what's happening in regards to Chinese hackers. That's what, you know, some hired, good-meaning Americans were able to do. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what these real-ass, not-for-play hackers are planning and trying to do. And I really hope that they still don't just have one command that is used and can turn off people's power. Like, who are the people making these decisions? And I get that, you know, you can't protect yourself from everything. You can't protect the country from everything. But as big as cyber, like, you know, just technology in general has become, as important as it is to literally us having water and heat and electricity and all those kinds of things and foods, you would think that they would have better systems in place to keep it protected. But you know what? What do I know? I'm just a young 31-year-old woman, black woman in America. You know, I don't know anything apparently. You had hope. It's not hope. Hope is definitely not the word. But it's like every time I do this Martini report, I just learn even more how unfortunately dumb a lot of things are. You know what I mean? It's like constantly learning every day that Santa Claus isn't real and you've been lied to about everything. Like, literally, I'm constantly being dismantled. The thoughts and the beliefs that I had in my head that the people in charge at least had a little bit more intelligence, a little bit more knowledge about what's going on, a little bit better plans in place, you know. I was supposed to be doing my job as an American, a young woman, American citizen, and don't break the laws, be attractive, pay my bills and my taxes, and you know, keep it moving. But they're not even doing their jobs right. And now you're telling me that there's a chance that I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. There's no fucking cell phone service or internet. How the hell am I going to be able to contact the people I need to contact? So yeah, we had to talk about that. We had to talk about that because that was like literally news that had dropped a few days ago with the FBI director. And I was just like, oh, okay. Let us not forget, along with everything else going on, that China has not forgotten about Taiwan and the fact that America wants to be involved in that. That's the problem. America always wants to be effing involved. Meanwhile, we just want to eat food that don't cost a lot of money. We Americans just don't want to have to pay a ridiculous amount on bills, at least without our own income going up. We have like just very basic desires. And can we get those satisfied? No. and then we have to be the targets of some tomfoolery because people are upset with what our government chooses to do when we don't even freaking agree. That's not fair. And it's the same thing that's happening, with Syria and Iraq and Iran and all of these places that Palestine, all these places where the normal people like us, we just trying to freaking survive and eat some ice cream and, have schmicks and just enjoy our lives. And they make it so freaking complicated and they make it so freaking dangerous. Like, what the heck? Anyway, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. That is it for the Martini Report on YouTube. I'm glad it actually worked. I'm glad it went off. I won't say without a hitch, but it went pretty smoothly, at least from what you guys are saying on your end. Of course, I'm going to watch the playback. Might have to do some edits. We'll see. YouTube is its own job, honestly. So I have to get used to that. But I really appreciate you guys coming over to watch me on here than my normal platform. So I'm thinking I was going to play some games tonight. But this is already, it's a 2-hour stream. And I definitely don't want to do it on this stream. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this and then I'm going to hop in the Discord. If anyone wants to talk to me in the Discord. And then I'll decide if I want to go live again on Twitch and play some games or not. At the very least, we can at least like socialize and hang out as friends, as people. As a community, Martini Land community. And for those of you that are catching the playback and want to be involved and watch us on Twitch and hang out with us on the Discord, I'll make sure all the links are underneath in the description below. And that's it. That's it for the Martini Report, you guys. Thank you. 2 hours. I must have gotten here late. No shit. No fucking shit. But every 9 o'clock, I've actually been very consistent. So I fixed the things on my end. Now you guys can expect me to be on time and on live at the times that I say. And only God himself could take me away. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I want to end the stream and hop in Discord. Thank you, Pash, for stopping through. Thank you, Caesar, for showing love in the comments. Thank you, Darius, for your donation, your amazing donation. I might have just missed it when it came across the screen or something. But either way, I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the reason why I'm able to do what I do. And I love you guys so much. So let me go ahead and put on the Martini Report music. And we're going to get out of here. Bye.